Hey guys, I'm Jody.
And I'm Justin.
And today we got Reykholt, and it was sent to us by Renegade Game Studios and designed by Uwe Rosenberg. Plays 1 to 4 players, and the setting is in Iceland. And the box cover is gorgeous in our opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So, in this game, you are geothermal farmers, and you're competing with other farmers to try to get the best produce because there is a large tourism industry, and so you gotta make the best crops. So, this is obviously a farming worker placement game. So let's do a brief overview of how to play, and we'll come back up with our thoughts. So I've got this game set up for a 3-player game. On the back side of this board is the 1 to 2 player side. This is the 3 to 4. Everyone's going to have their markers to start over here. Each player grabs their tokens, and there's a first player marker. Everyone has a little reference sheet. You got these cards over here, the supply of all of the veggies in their nice little bins, and some greenhouses and some extra resource multiplier stuff, and then the round markers here. So the game is going to be played over 7 rounds, and at the end of each round, you're going to flip this over, and then so there's 7 of these here to keep track of the rounds. And each round is going to have 4 phases, and so the first phase is going to be work time, where you're going to be putting out your workers on different locations and taking actions. Then you'll do harvest time, where you're going to actually be harvesting resources from the greenhouses you have in your play area. Then tourism time, where you're going to be moving your manager, you're going to be moving him on the tourist track, so moving up here. And then lastly is homecoming time, where you're going to retrieve all of your workers from the board. So for work time, players are going to be taking turns placing out a worker on one of these locations here. There are 4 different columns, as you can see, of different colors, and in some of these columns there are action spaces with flags. Now, in a given round, each player can only use 1 flag action space in each column. So let's just go over a few of these action spaces. So let's look at, this one right here is take a greenhouse. Whenever it says take a greenhouse, there are greenhouses on the side which you can choose from. And then let's see, this one here says take 1 tomato and 1 lettuce, or take 1 cauliflower. So this is a way to just get more resources, and you're going to put it in your stock in your play area. Then you got some other things like harvest 2 times from the same greenhouse. So you got your greenhouse filled up with veggies, and you can take 2 veggies from that. You harvest 1 time, and take 1 mushroom or carrot. So there's a lot of different combinations of seeding, taking greenhouses, harvesting different veggies. These over here, though, tend to correspond more with service cards, which are on the other side. These will give you some different benefits throughout the game. So, for instance, this one says, choose a service card owned by a neighbor. You now share that card with them. So the service cards allow you to do different things. Now, there are different types of greenhouses that allow for certain veggies to be grown. So, for instance, this one right here, there's 4 parcels, and there's these 4 different veggies that you can seed here to grow. So there's different combinations on these, and these are kind of just wild, so you don't know what you're going to get. Whenever you take an action that lets you seed, you get to choose a vegetable from your stock. So the stock is nothing that is on the greenhouse cards. It's in your own little supply. And you have to choose to seed something that's available on this card. So I'm going to do cauliflower, and the cauliflower is available to be seeded here. So you'll place 1 there, and then you'll fill up the rest of the greenhouse with cauliflower, the same veggie from the supply. Now, if you take an action that lets you harvest 1 time, then you would choose from one of your greenhouses and take 1 veggie 1 time. There are some other scenarios of actions too. For instance, you could harvest 2 times from the same greenhouse, in which case you would choose and take 2 veggies. Now, if it says to harvest multiple times, but not from the same greenhouse, then you have to choose, 1 from each for the limit that the action space allows. After everyone has placed out their workers and take the corresponding action, then you move on to harvest time. And with this, each player will be taking one vegetable from each of their filled greenhouses and adding it to their stock. After everyone has harvested, then you move on to the tourism, which deals with advancing your marker on the table. Now, in order to advance your marker, you have to pay the veggie cost from your stock. Now, each person is required to use a bonus. So what that means is you can move into one space, and instead of paying the cost, you actually take it from the supply, and that is the bonus action. So let's do an example here. So this is what we have in our stock. So we need to move, actually this is a blue player, sorry. So the first spot is a tomato, which, well, hello. First spot's a tomato, which we will turn into the supply. Then we have lettuce here, which we have a lettuce we can turn in. Now we don't have a mushroom, so let's use that as the bonus and advance and take that from the supply. And then we can go back to moving because we also happen to have a cauliflower, and then we also have a carrot. So that is how you go. So you go as far as you can with paying the cost and using the bonus. And everyone is going to do that same thing. After tourism is over, then you move to homecoming, where everyone is going to be taking back their workers. And then the first player marker gets passed and a new round begins. Once you finish the last round of the game, the 7th round, then the winner is going to be whoever is the furthest along the table. Okay, so I really thought I was gonna like this game. Unfortunately, it fell just a little flat for me. I don't know. It's not a bad game. I found it to be a little boring for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I like farming games. That's not that. It's just, I don't know. You said it kind of felt a little repetitive with some of the stuff you were doing. We played it at 2-player. And I don't know, maybe 3-player. We did play a 3-player game as well.
3-player, but I felt the same.
Yeah, I think the 3-player was more fun. But yeah, it was a little boring. I mean, so the components are still really nice, and it's still beautiful theme. I like the Iceland theme, and you got these nice little trays with all of the different veggies, which the veggies are really nice. I mean, I like the components. It just, yeah, it was an okay game. It was not the most entertaining. I do like the concept of, going around the track, trying to be, the furthest along the track and turning in veggies along the way. But I think maybe just the actual spots themselves for placing your workers, I found to be a little boring, I guess. I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it. What do you think?
I mean, we definitely felt like it was lacking when we were doing the 2-player version, like options-wise. We didn't feel like there was much there.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 players, so you gotta, make it smaller options.
Obviously, but it definitely,
Yeah.
I don't know, what we did every turn, it felt really repetitive, and it didn't feel like there was a lot of variability, especially with the 2-player game, because we were basically having to play in the same spots all the time. I felt like whenever we were placing our workers out. Obviously, this game has the components down well. I think that's the thing for sure that it really, really does have going for it. I still like the way that it looks. I still think it's very pretty.
Like, I mean, your greenhouses, I like the large cards. I mean, the quality of this game is great. Now, this does have a solo game and a campaign or story mode or something. I did not try either of those, so maybe that's good. I don't know. I haven't tried those. We're not really solo gamers. So there's that to try. But yeah, that's our thoughts, and of course, that's our opinion. So if this game looks interesting to you, check it out because you might like it. I know some people love this game. It just wasn't one for us. So, but yeah, that is our thoughts of Reykholt.
That's it.
And if you liked what you saw today, go ahead and click that subscribe button and like this video. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching.